Okay, Terry, the Browns quarterback situation, do you draft a quarterback or do you go for an experienced backup like Mr. Garoppolo?
Well, that's what the Browns are talking about. I had got a couple emails from fans that said, well, why would New England want to trade Garoppolo, which is a decent question. Brady's 39. You got to start planning for the future. But this is Bill Belichick. Remember, everything's a long view. And what's going to happen to Garoppolo a year from now?
Mr. Free Agency.
Mr. Free Agent. Yeah. So basically, he either has to sign him to a contract and, in effect, pay him like a starter, or trade him. And knowing Bill, what does that mean?
It means trade him. They don't want to spend any money.
Right. They don't want to spend it on Jamie Collins. By the way, that's an interesting thing. So if the Browns and New England are interested, they found a way to make one trade already this year. So I think there's some significance there. Now, here's the problem with Garoppolo. What do you think? I'm talking 6 quarters. That's what he's played as a starter, 6 quarters.
But even beyond that, how many of these backup guys have had success once they got traded or even left as a free agent?
That's always the question that goes around. I mean, the classic was Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. They broke them up and they both ended up being very good. But most of the time, Matt Flynn was, of course, the big disaster. Green Bay, kind of a couple good games, traded to Seattle. Seattle was fortunate because in the 3rd round they drafted Russell Wilson, so Matt Flynn's been about 5 teams since then. Matt Castle was okay for a little while with Kansas City.
Who was the guy with the Lions, went to the Dolphins?
Oh, yes, I remember the left Scott Mitchell. There's another one. Actually, guys have kind of more success than some. Was Tyrod Taylor, who was a backup in Baltimore, went to Buffalo. I kind of like him a little bit. Because one, assuming Buffalo doesn't pick up his $20 million option or whatever, you don't have to give a draft pick. Secondly, you've got about 20-some stars to look at. And he's been okay. But the problem is if you're the Browns, okay is not bad. As we spoke a little bit before, if you're viable and durable, if you could even give them 11 games like Brian Hoyer did back in the 2014 season, at least you're on the way to being okay as a team, but they're miles away from okay, or else there's always the draft, Branson. Save that for another time.
Yes.